bold dreamers, quick question for you. Is the universe conspiring for you or against you? Is God on your side or isn't he? And feel free to substitute that with, according to your beliefs. But is the universe conspiring for you or against you? And there are three concepts that I want to talk to you about. And the first is consistency, the second is coincidence, and the third is change. And when you subscribe to the belief that the universe is conspiring for you, do you do that consistently? Like, are you one of those fair weather belief people, when things are going your way, you believe that the universe is conspiring for you? You're driving along, it's a beautiful day, you have the top down in your car, you're with the love of your life, you have great tunes playing, and you're feeling like the universe is really conspiring for you until you look in the rearview mirror and you see the red lights, flying behind you, coming to give you a speeding ticket, and then it changes everything for you. So I want to invite you to apply that belief with consistency. If that's your belief that the universe is truly conspiring for you in all things, apply that belief with consistency instead of being a fair weather friend, or sometimes that's true and sometimes it's not true. So the first is consistency. The second thing is coincidence. And I think when we subscribe to the belief that the universe is conspiring for us, it takes coincidence off the table. Coincidence is things that happen by accident. And when we believe that the universe is conspiring for us, everything has a purpose in our life. Everything is there as information for us to help us to grow, to help us to evolve, to help us to become the people that we were meant to become. I recently saw a clip from the movie Hidden Figures, and in the clip it showed the three black women on their way to work at NASA, and their car breaks down, and they're sitting along the road and they're trying to fix the car, and all of a sudden they look up and there's a police officer zipping down the road toward them. Now, this was a time in our country when black people had to use different bathrooms. This was a time in our country when there were separate water fountains for them, when they had to drink out of separate coffee pots, even though, they would use their own mugs. They weren't even allowed to use the same coffee pot to fill their mug. And so a white policeman gets out of the car, and they're kind of, the women are a little nervous and saying to each other, just lay low, don't say too much. And what happens is that in the end, they have this great conversation with this police officer, and he gives them a police escort to NASA. A police escort. I mean, they're going at a high rate of speed, like tailing this guy, and they're hooting and hollering and having the time of their lives with this situation. But it wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't an accident that their car broke down and that they ended up, in this experience. And so I want to invite you to think about that there aren't accidents in your life. The reason your kids got sick on that day and you had to miss work was for a purpose, or, the reason you were, the reason you were late for work happened for a reason, or, that difficult conversation that you were involved in happened for a reason. There's not a coincidence or an accident in your life. The universe is truly conspiring for you. And the third piece is change. And when you believe that the universe is conspiring for you, how does that change things? How does it make it different for you? When things show up that aren't exactly as we had hoped or as we had planned, how does it change how I feel when I believe that the universe is conspiring for me? If I believe that the universe is conspiring against me, that's more of a, life is happening to me kind of situation. When I believe that life is happening to me, I ask questions like, oh man, how can this be? And why does this always happen to me? It always happens to me. And it leaves me in this position of really being powerless in my own life, kind of being a victim to my own life. But when I believe that the universe is conspiring for me, when I believe that life and the things that are showing up in my life are happening for me, it changes everything for me. I ask questions like, what's the opportunity here? What's the opportunity here? I didn't get that job promotion that I so badly wanted and that I was overqualified for, better qualified than all the other people and had more experience. But what's the opportunity for me, even in this situation? What's seeking to emerge in me? What's seeking to emerge? Yes, I was in this relationship. I thought it was my soulmate and I got my heart broken. But what's the opportunity? What's seeking to emerge? How would I feel if I truly believed that even in that moment, that the universe is conspiring for me? The universe is conspiring for me. So life happens for me, for my own evolution, for my own growth, for my own good. So consistency, coincidence, and change. And I just want to invite you to look at what your own belief is. Do you really believe that God is on your side, that the universe is conspiring for you? And if you do believe that, are you a fair weather believer, or do you apply that truth with consistency in your own life? And I want to invite you to take a look at your own life and look at those, those situations and those circumstances that show up where, they aren't what we hoped they would be. They aren't what we expected and anticipated them to be. And I want to invite you to ask the question, what's the opportunity here? What's seeking to emerge? So that's it for Mindset Monday. I hope you guys have an awesome day. It's a sunny day here in Pennsylvania. And enjoy yourself. Take care. Bye-bye.